Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. It's your boy Plunder22 here with a new channel. I'm going to be uploading my first video to it, which is this one. My military analysis between the Equestrian Army from My Little Pony and an army from history, Napoleon's Grande Armee. So to start this off, this is a fictional scenario. Napoleon has conquered Europe, every bit of it. He's now moved on to Equestria due to two French merchants bringing information back that they have discovered a new land. And from speaking to the inhabitants, they call it Equestria. Napoleon has invaded and declared war on them. The two Pony sisters apparently are not happy with this, so they intend to meet Napoleon in the field. But they don't realize they're facing a foe that has better weapons than they do. Napoleon lands his army, and the Pony sisters make the same mistake his enemies did, letting him choose the ground. So in their first engagement they are defeated, and throughout the whole war they do the same thing, repeatedly, and get defeated until they are forced to sign, until he offers them his conditions for a conditional surrender. And they accept it and surrender conditionally to him, and they get half of the Crystal Empire, while Cadence and Shining Armor, the two rulers of it, get the other half. He leaves two military advisors to advise them, and he gives them what they need to modernize their armies, and he gives Blue Blood his territories that he's already conquered. So now Blue Blood rules over this. Napoleon's men have lived off the land throughout the whole war. Now to break down the weaponry of these two armies. Napoleon's men have muskets, bayonets, and briquet sabers, while his cavalry carry carbines, pistols, and sabers, and lances. The lancers use lances. We have the hussars, who mainly rely on their sabers. They're the dragoons, who act as light infantry when they are not mounted. Now, Napoleon's tactics during the war were used feints, which worked every single time on his enemy, on the two Pony sisters, Luna and Celestia, and he nearly wiped out their entire guard. But some of their guard turned and became the guards of Emperor Blue Blood. The guards loyal to Luna and Celestia remained with them in their half of the Crystal Empire. Napoleon has officially left Equestria and returned to France. But Napoleon's army, as I said, used muskets, the Charleville. They carry briquet sabers, bayonets. They also have cannon, artillerymen, cavalry. Napoleon uses a corps system, which each corps was tasked in conquering a certain piece of territory, and then regrouping with the army for a final push. And hence why Napoleon was able to gain so much territory in this war so quickly. And I will now be covering the Equestrian Army. So before this war, before Napoleon invaded, the Equestrian military was equipped with full plate armor, shall I say, looked almost made of brass. Oh, sorry, I thought someone had pulled in. It was just the air conditioner. Now, all of you ignore that, please. As I was stating, the Equestrian military before the war were equipped with armor, spears, shields, swords, and crossbows, which gave them a disadvantage throughout the whole war, hence why they lost. They had no decent composition. They had no corps system. Only corps they had were the Royal Guards, which consist of the Lunar and Solar Guards. And it was just shit. So the Pony sisters, the two Pony sisters, Luna and Celestia, have lost. The elements of harmony have been forced out of their homes in Ponyville, and are forced to live in the territories now that Luna and Celestia hold, which is only half of the Crystal Empire. This war was humiliating for the Equestrians. They lost. They lost faith in their own army because of how many times they heard their army had been defeated. by a foreign invader. And so they have learned that if they ever get invaded again by a similar enemy, they need to adopt and modernize, to adopt their enemy's style of warfare, and need to modernize their army. So what can we say from this scenario? Well, this scenario, the logistics and statistics of this war proved in favor of the French, and Napoleon's Grande Armee, his use of his tactics, which includes feinting the enemy with a fake retreat to draw them into a trap, which he did throughout each of the battles. And in the end, he did show honor by granting them a conditional surrender. Though they did try to get Britain's help until they found out Britain had been conquered and the British monarchy had fled to America. So my analysis and what I have done in the comparison of these two armies is that Napoleon's army had the advantage in this war. They were better equipped, better trained. The ponies just couldn't bear to scorch earth. So Napoleon's men were able to live off the land. And now Napoleon has an abundance of resources he can pull. If he goes to war with America, he can pull his new allies into the war. And so, Napoleon has in the scenario conquered Equestria. This is now a reminder, this is completely fictional, just my analysis of what would have happened if that actually happened. And I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments, especially those from the bronies, because I want to know what they think. I want to know their opinions on the matter. I'm not a brony myself. I just want their opinion on whether or not they agree with this. This is Plunder22 signing off. And be sure also to stay tuned for the week after next video, which will be another military analysis involving the Equestrian military going against the Japanese samurai. Now, I'm signing off, and see you for the next analysis.